Today's video is brought to you by Hex Gaming. Let me ask you a question. Do you need that competitive edge in that first-person shooter, third-person shooter? Are you just getting straight clapped by the competition? Or how about that raid in that console MMO? Do you need something to give you some ease for your next cooldown, make your rotation a little bit simpler? You need some customizable buttons? Or do you just want a flashy controller? Visit Hex Gaming today and use promo code TNEC127 to get 5% off anything you order in the Hex Gaming store. That's hexgaming.com. Use promo code TNEC127 at checkout to get yourself a discount. Enjoy the video, guys. Let's go, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is TNEC127 and welcome back to TNEC FPS. And guys, in today's video, I got a little Xdefiant news for you guys. We've got some information, some new news and updates and stuff like that from the man, the legend, Mark Rubin himself. Now, just so you guys know, if you're been living under a rock or anything like that, Xdefiant is an upcoming free-to-play arena shooter coming from Ubisoft by industry veteran Mark Rubin, who was once upon a time an employee of Infinity Ward and used to work on Call of Duty, so he has a lot of experience and expertise in that area. And they also even have like pro players and stuff like that working on their dev team as well. One of them being Patty P, aka Aches, who used to be a pro player for Evil Geniuses back on Call of Duty. So there's a lot of good talent here working behind this arena shooter, and I couldn't be more excited about it. I'm definitely looking forward to Xdefiant. Now, in my last video, I talked to you guys about Xdefiant. I gave you all some of my early impressions from playing in some of the dev playtests and stuff like that, and I made it very clear that one of my biggest concerns was that consoles were not involved in testing yet, especially with how things went with one of Ubisoft's previous games, Hyperscape. One thing that played a big part of that game's downfall is the fact that console players were tossed right into a very unbalanced experience that had forced crossplay with PC. Now, one thing I'll give Xdefiant is it's a lot more simpler of a game than Hyperscape was, but I do believe balancing between console and PC, especially with early testing in these games where you really want community feedback, I really feel like that's an important part. So I'm still going to stress that I do feel like Xdefiant needs to get console players involved with testing ASAP a lot sooner than later. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is some things that Mark Rubin has personally went out of his way to address. And these are three very hot topics when it comes to Xdefiant. One, he's actually replied to me personally about console information and stuff like that, and how they do really want to get consoles involved with testing. Number two, he's talked about skill-based matchmaking, which, as you guys know, is a very controversial thing in Call of Duty. And number three, he has touched on their philosophies with crossplay, and they've also made it known that they're very open to community feedback on it. So first and foremost, just a few days ago, he had put out a poll asking, how people would feel about crossplay. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, on this poll, crossplay with PC got upvoted 62.3%, while no crossplay with PC got voted 37.7%. So a majority of the players do want crossplay with PC. Me personally, I am a fan of that, as long as things are tuned and balanced correctly. And one thing I do think that'll help with that is getting console players involved with testing and crossplay games sooner rather than later, which is, one reason I really did say that. But Mark Rubin also made it clear when looking at other tweets of his and stuff like that, that they are still going through the comments and they are going to balance that part of the game according to community feedback. So just because, crossplay with PC is set in stone on the poll doesn't mean, that that's exactly what they're going to plan on doing. They're still looking at, different methods of input and stuff like that. Controllers and controllers, mouse and keyboards with mouse and keyboards, and, and those kind of things. One thing he has also cleared up as well is mini-maps and skill-based matchmaking. He was replying under his tweet for his for his survey right here. It goes to say, thank you everyone for the feedback. As I mentioned, mini-maps and lobbies will work as you expect, and there will be no skill-based matchmaking in casual play. So if you want to play casual matches of Xdefiant without worrying, having to go against people of your skill level or higher, you can do that just fine. That is not going to be a problem and not going to be an issue at all. Now, when it comes to console and stuff like that, I just asked him straight up under his under one of his tweets, any ETA for console players getting involved with testing. He replied nearly immediately and said, we don't have an approved date yet, but we are working to get that nailed down. Console testing is quite a bit more complex than PC, but we will get there. So, just by him saying that first sentence alone, we don't have an approved date yet, does mean that they are trying to get it going. So I do appreciate that fact, and I am happy to hear that, they are working on it. Now, when he says it's more complex and stuff like that, I personally, I don't know, okay? I'm not a game developer, but at the same time, like I've told you guys in other videos before, me personally, I am playing right about now, 2 different alpha titles on console. and that's how the developers get their feedback and everything. These titles are NDA. I can't quite talk about them. But I'm playing alpha games on console. So I personally don't think not every developer has trouble getting their games involved with early testing and stuff like that. I don't know how it works. Like I said, I'm no game developer, but I have seen and heard different stories from different devs. There are people who can get their alphas on console immediately, and then there are people who can't get it to touch a console until beta. I personally have no idea how that works, but I'm going to take Mark Rubin's word for it. He's been pretty upfront with the community and stuff like that, and open to communication. So I do trust what he is saying. But anyway, guys, just wanted to give you these updates on Xdefiant. I'll go ahead and leave a link to his Twitter down in the description below so you guys can give him feedback and stuff as well. But I've shown pictures of the tweet, so I don't think we need any more proof of that. But anyway, y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like button. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.